The Anelka Quenelle, in the middle of the 2013-2014 Premier League season, a fixture between West Bromwich Albion and West Ham United at Upton Park was a crucial mid-season scrap, locked fiercely at 3-3. In the 40th minute, West Brom's veteran striker Nicklas Anelka scored a crucial equaliser by slotting home a rebound. It was a standard goal, the kind of professional finish Anelka had provided for 2 decades, but the celebration that followed instantly shifted the focus from football to international politics and global controversy. Anelka ran to the edge of the pitch and performed a gesture known as the Quenelle, raising one arm downwards while using the other hand to touch his opposite shoulder. The gesture was tied directly to a controversial French comedian repeatedly accused of anti-Semitism and was immediately interpreted by many as a thinly veiled, inverted Nazi salute. The backlash across Europe was immediate and severe, forcing the Premier League to intervene. The FA launched an extensive and highly publicized investigation, eventually classifying the act as an aggravated breach of rules due to its highly offensive and discriminatory nature. Anelka was hit with a punishing 5-match ban and a staggering £80,000 fine. The fallout didn't end with the suspension. West Brom's main shirt sponsor terminated their contract with the club in protest, stating the club's association with the gesture was commercially untenable. Anelka's West Brom career ended almost immediately thereafter, the gesture having caused irreparable damage to his relationship with the club and its stakeholders. The Quenelle became an unforgettable, chilling example of how a single, loaded political gesture could not only obliterate a player's career and lead to a massive personal financial penalty, but also spark significant international outrage and severe commercial repercussions for the club he represented. It was a moment where football's strict rules against political and discriminatory expression were applied with total, career-ending severity. The Nicklas Bendtner underwear display. This is the definitive case of a banned commercial message in a major tournament, serving as a brutal reminder of the strict rules governing player sponsorship and kit control that the Premier League adheres to. While the specific incident took place during the Euro 2012 tournament, the player was Arsenal's Nicklas Bendtner, making it a direct Premier League concern. After scoring a goal for Denmark against Portugal, Bendtner lifted his shirt and pulled down his shorts slightly to reveal a pair of Paddy Power branded underpants. This was a deliberate, audacious, and highly visible piece of ambush marketing orchestrated by the betting company. UEFA's reaction was immediate and seismic. They classified the act as unsanctioned commercial promotion that violated kit regulations and the exclusive advertising rights of the tournament sponsors. The sanction was a staggering €100,000 fine and a 1-match ban. Bendtner argued that the branded waistband was simply his lucky underwear, but the governing body rejected the defense outright. The sheer scale of the fine, which exceeded the fine for racist chanting imposed on another country later in the tournament, sent a clear message across all of European football. Violating commercial exclusivity is a cardinal sin that carries an astronomical financial penalty. The Clucas SLB Logo. This incident stands as a rare example of a Premier League ban relating to obscure, non-political unsanctioned messaging and association. In a 2018 match, Clucas, then playing for Swansea City, scored 2 goals in a vital 3-1 triumph over Arsenal. After wheeling away to celebrate each goal, Clucas performed a specific, easily recognizable hand gesture. This gesture was immediately picked up by eagle-eyed viewers and commentators as a direct reference to the logo of an adult entertainment website/group known as simply Love Brotherhood, SLB. While the message was not offensive in a discriminatory sense, it was viewed as an unacceptable form of commercial promotion and a profound breach of sporting decorum, specifically for the open, public referencing of content inappropriate for a family audience. The Premier League and the FA immediately investigated the act. Clucas was hit with a significant fine and cautioned regarding the future use of unsanctioned gestures. The incident was a harsh lesson that the pitch is not a platform for niche digital communities or adult content promotion. It demonstrated the league's wide-ranging authority to sanction players for any gesture deemed to be bringing the game into disrepute, especially those that violate the clean, commercial image the Premier League so fiercely protects. The subtle nature of the gesture only made the FA's swift response more decisive. They would not tolerate even coded breaches of conduct. Robbie Fowler's Snorting the line, the intense, visceral rivalry of the Merseyside derby has always been a cauldron of passion and hostility, but few moments have ever been as shocking or controversial as this one in April 1999 at Anfield. For months leading up to the fixture, Robbie Fowler, Liverpool's star striker and a local icon, had been the relentless target of vile taunts from Everton fans. Chants and banners from the travelling Toffee supporters had continuously and falsely accused him of drug use. In the 15th minute, Fowler was fouled in the box and a penalty was awarded, providing the perfect stage for revenge. He stepped up and calmly slotted the spot kick past the Everton keeper, Thomas Meyer. The relief and joy of the goal were instantly eclipsed by the act of provocation that followed. Fowler dropped immediately to his hands and knees right at the edge of the penalty area, leaned down to the white byline, and brazenly pretended to snort the white chalk line like a line of cocaine. His teammate, Steve McManaman, recognizing the immediate trouble and the gravity of the potential sanctions, instantly tried to pull him away and cover the act, but the damage was done. The moment was captured by every camera in the stadium, and the media storm was immediate and explosive, drawing international condemnation from anti-drug campaigners and football authorities worldwide. The FA reacted with unprecedented severity, classifying the act as a serious breach of sporting conduct and bringing the game into disrepute, warning that it sent an appalling message to younger viewers globally. Fowler was hit with a massive £60,000 fine, a monumental sum for the time, and a punishing 4-match ban. The financial penalty was a clear statement that acts simulating drug use would not be tolerated in any form, regardless of the player's stated reasons for the provocation. The Paul Gascoigne dentist chair mockery. This iconic celebration, though occurring during England duty at Euro 96, was a direct response to a massive Premier League-related scandal and involved several Premier League players. Prior to the tournament, the media crucified the England squad after a widely reported night out in Hong Kong where Paul Gascoigne was notoriously photographed strapped into a chair, being poured alcohol, the so-called dentist chair incident. The pressure on the team was astronomical. After scoring a spectacular goal against Scotland, Gascoigne sprinted to the corner flag, lay down on the ground, and had teammates Teddy Sheringham and Alan Shearer pour water from a bottle into his mouth, perfectly mimicking the scandalous private incident. While the public and media ultimately loved the self-deprecating wit, the action was a direct parody of a non-footballing scandal that had severely embarrassed the FA and sponsors. The celebration was ruled to be against the spirit of the game due to its excessive nature and the context of the taunt, leading to an official reprimand and a booking for the players involved. It demonstrated the FA's authority to sanction players for bringing the entire organization into disrepute, even through acts of witty satire. Iliman Ndiaye's Seagull Mimicry. This is a modern, bizarre example of an excessive celebration ban based purely on inciting an opponent's fan base. In a 2023 Premier League match, Everton's Iliman Ndiaye scored the winning goal against Brighton and Hove Albion. Following the goal, Ndiaye ran off and performed an impression of a seagull flying over the pitch. This was not a random gesture. It was a direct taunt aimed at the Brighton fans and their local identity, often associated with the coastal town's large seagull population. The referee immediately issued Ndiaye a yellow card. Former Premier League referee Dermot Gallagher explained the caution was issued for inciting supporters. The ruling was clear: any celebration that directly and aggressively targets the opposing team's mascot, city identity, or unique characteristics can be deemed provocative, derisory, or inflammatory, justifying the yellow card. It's a niche, highly specific form of banned celebration, but it proves the Premier League's referees are vigilant against all forms of targeted, unsporting mockery. Wayne Rooney's chaos celebration. In the 2015 Premier League clash between Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur, the focus was squarely on Wayne Rooney. After a poor run of form and intense media criticism, a newspaper published images of Rooney seemingly being knocked out by former teammate Phil Bardsley in a casual boxing spar in his kitchen. The media coverage was relentless, questioning his dedication and professionalism. Rooney, however, chose to answer his critics not with words, but with high theatre provocation. After scoring smartly to put his side 3 goals to the good, the crowd erupted in laughter and applause. However, the referee had a decision to make. While witty, the celebration fell under the category of excessive celebration and mockery, potentially bringing the player into disrepute by reenacting a violent, non-footballing action. Though he escaped a ban, he was formally cautioned by the referee for the excessiveness of the celebration and the attention it drew, narrowly avoiding the same sanctions that affected others on this list. It stands as a perfect example of a player using a celebration to directly confront the media narrative, a high-stakes form of theatrical defiance. Emmanuel Adebayor's full-pitch sprint. The date was September 12, 2009, and the stage was the Etihad Stadium for a fiery, spite-fueled clash between Manchester City and Arsenal. The central figure was Emmanuel Adebayor, who had left Arsenal for City that summer under bitter circumstances, publicly citing a lack of respect from the club. From the moment he stepped onto the pitch, the travelling Arsenal fans subjected him to a vicious, personal chorus of boos and insults. With City leading 3-1, the decisive pitch, including a plastic chair that narrowly missed the celebrating player. The FA reviewed the footage and deemed the action a clear and severe case of unsporting behavior, specifically for provoking spectators and inciting disorder, a rare charge reserved only for the most extreme acts of provocation. Adebayor was hit with a £25,000 fine and a 3-match ban, combining a 2-match ban for the celebration with one for a separate on-pitch incident. That infamous, vengeful sprint remains a defining moment of Premier League animosity, and a clear example of a player deliberately using the geographical space of the pitch to incite a near riot. Mario Balotelli's "Why Always Me?" The atmosphere on October 23, 2011, at Old Trafford for the Manchester Derby was electric, but the pressure on Manchester City's Mario Balotelli was immense, given the constant media scrutiny surrounding his life, including the infamous incident where fireworks were set off in his bathroom the night before the match. The breakthrough came in the 22nd minute when Balotelli scored. The goal was clinical, but the celebration that followed was pure Balotelli theatre. Instead of a typical roar of celebration, the Italian calmly approached the goal line, paused, and lifted his blue City jersey. The hidden message, "Why always me?" emblazoned on his undershirt, was a direct, cheeky retort to the constant barrage of media scrutiny he faced. The referee, Mark Clattenburg, had no choice in the matter. Under FIFA Law 4, revealing a message on an undershirt is an automatic bookable offense, regardless of the message's content, a rule in place to prevent unsanctioned political or commercial messaging. The rule is absolute: any message, regardless of how harmless, humorous, or personal, is forbidden. This is a commercial and regulatory necessity, ensuring that the player's kit remains free of unsanctioned branding, political statements, or religious slogans. The moment a shirt is lifted high enough to clearly display the underlying message, the referee is obligated to issue an immediate caution for unsporting behavior. This strict ban is a quiet but consistent part of the Premier League's commercial and regulatory framework, ensuring the pitch remains a neutral zone free of unauthorized communication. Balotelli received his inevitable yellow card with a shrug. The phrase was instantly immortalized, appearing on front pages and t-shirts globally, perfectly summing up the chaotic, unpredictable, and ultimately unforgettable career of the controversial Italian striker. He was not banned for the sentiment, but for the fundamental rule violation against using the kit as an unauthorized platform for communication. Taking off the shirt, the mandatory caution, this is the most common and universally enforced rule governing Premier League celebrations. The act of simply removing the shirt is classified as an unsporting act and an automatic bookable offense under FIFA Law 4. While the rule is often criticized as unnecessarily stifling passion, the official reasoning centers on 2 points: time wasting and the potential for unsanctioned messaging, preventing players from revealing something written on their chest or back. Every player, from Didier Drogba to Marcus Rashford, who rips off their shirt in the heat of the moment knows the yellow card is coming. The most famous example of this trivial offense having a massive impact was Paul Gascoigne's booking for taking his shirt off against Watford in the 1999 FA Cup semi-final, which meant he was suspended for the final, highlighting how a simple celebratory act can have massive career consequences. It is the fundamental, most consistent ban in the history of the league, upheld with absolute zero tolerance. The David Norris handcuff gesture, in 2008, while playing for Ipswich Town in the Championship, and later serving as a clear warning to Premier League players, David Norris scored a crucial goal against Blackpool. His celebration landed him in immediate and severe trouble with the football authorities. After scoring, Norris made a handcuff gesture with his hands. This was explained as a tribute to his former teammate Luke McCormick, who was then serving a lengthy prison sentence for death by dangerous driving. While the intention was to show loyalty to a friend, the FA classified the gesture as inappropriate and offensive due to its public display of support for a convicted criminal whose actions had resulted in a loss of life. Norris was hit with a substantial fine and was publicly sanctioned for bringing the game into disrepute. This case established a clear line: celebrations cannot be used to endorse, support, or draw attention to actions that are in severe violation of the law, regardless of the personal context. The ban was not about mocking the opposition, but about violating the moral and ethical expectations placed upon professional footballers by the governing body. Tamuri Ketsbaia's hoarding attack, destruction of property, on a cold January night in 1998 at St James's Park, Newcastle United was locked in a bitter, frustrating Premier League draw with Bolton Wanderers. Georgian midfielder Tamuri Ketsbaia had been on the bench, boiling with frustration over his lack of starts under manager Kenny Dalglish. The match entered its final seconds when Ketsbaia, who had come on late, stabbed the ball-kicking spree against the defenseless plastic boards. He kicked the boards multiple times with full force before his teammates finally managed to restrain the visibly possessed player. The FA immediately investigated the chaotic scene, charging him with bringing the game into disrepute for the violent destruction of property, an act that was literally unheard of in a goal celebration. He was hit with a substantial fine and a multiple match ban, creating a piece of footage often cited as the most bizarre and aggressive celebration in Premier League history, a level 1 transgression amplified by pure, unadulterated rage. Luis Suárez mocks David Moyes, simulated diving and provocation. The intense atmosphere of the Merseyside derby on October 28, 2012, was sharpened by weeks of media build-up focusing on Luis Suárez. The Liverpool star striker was constantly being accused of diving and simulation by opposing fans and, crucially, by Everton manager David Moyes, who had publicly called Suárez a diver in the lead-up to the fixture. When Suárez scored a goal that put Liverpool ahead, his response was a direct, calculated act of mockery aimed squarely at the opposition bench. Suárez ran towards the touchline where Moyes was standing and executed a perfect, exaggerated swan dive right in front of the technical area, then lay on the ground pretending to be utterly crippled by an invisible foul. The camera instantly cut to David Moyes, whose face was a study in nonplussed fury. Although the initial unsporting behavior rule covers this, the context made it highly inflammatory. Suárez received an automatic yellow card for excessive celebration and was penalized for the direct mockery and provocation of an opposing authority figure, turning the manager's accusation into a global joke and cementing his reputation as the league's ultimate agent of chaos. Jürgen Klinsmann's dive, satirical simulation. When German striker Jürgen Klinsmann joined Tottenham Hotspur in 1994, the English media viciously branded him a diver. Self-deprecating, widely celebrated for its wit and charm, the referee, under the pressure of the intense diving debate, cautioned Klinsmann. The subsequent guidelines clarified that any exaggerated simulation, even in jest and even when directed at critics, could be deemed unsporting behavior and a violation of the game's integrity. Klinsmann's dive became iconic, earning him a place in the fans' hearts, but it also became a critical case study in how the IFAB began to clamp down on any form of simulation, regardless of the player's good humor or intent. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's masks. While the most famous incidents involving Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's use of superhero masks occurred in the Bundesliga, the Premier League strictly enforces the FIFA rule that bans the use of masks or props in celebration. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang during his prime was football's ultimate showman, and his signature superhero mask celebrations were notorious rule breakers. The most famous occurred during the Revier Derby in Germany, where he unveiled a Spider-Man mask. He also used Batman and Black Panther props. While fans adored the spectacle, FIFA guidelines strictly ban any use of masks or props. The official reasons are multiple. They are seen as potentially inflammatory, they waste time, and they can be used to display unsanctioned messages. The moment a player brings an external object, whether a mask, a flag, or a mobile phone, onto the pitch as part of the celebration, it triggers the automatic yellow card for unsporting and excessive celebration, reinforcing the league's need to maintain control over the pitch's visual space and the flow of the game. More critically, on one occasion, Aubameyang unveiled a Nike-branded mask in a prominent fixture, using a stage paid for by his club's technical sponsor, Puma, leading to a furious public spat. He consistently received automatic yellow cards and financial fines. Aubameyang simply paid the necessary price for mixing professional football with performance art, proving that commercial control trumps showmanship. Quite a list, innit? From Anelka Quenelle to Balotelli's Why Always Me, the league has tested them all. Which of these celebrations caught your attention the most? Did you witness any? And which would you secretly have loved it stayed? Tell us in the comments, 'cause your secret's safe here. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with your fellow football loved ones and hit that bell so you don't miss the next countdown. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this, leave a like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe, 'cause I'll be posting frequently here.